But no, I mean, that environment was a lot of fun to play in, and ultimately coming out with a win, in that environment was really good for our team. Obviously, they're a really good team. They have a good defense, a really good offense, and they've been really consistent throughout the season. And they pose a good challenge for us, and it's for the SEC. So I'm excited, and I know the guys are excited for this opportunity.
Carson, going back to that first game, you threw 3 interceptions in that game. What did you take away from that experience against them, and where do you feel like you've improved the most from that Texas game to where you are going into conference title game week?
Yeah, I think you go back and you watch that game, and there's just some situations where maybe I was trying to force the ball when it didn't need to, and maybe trying to make plays when they weren't there. And I think that's one thing that I've really improved on as, we've gotten into this kind of later half of the season is not trying to do too much and just playing within myself and playing within the offense. Knowing when to try to make a play and knowing when to just chalk it up and, move on to the next one. There's 3 downs to get a first down for a reason. You don't have to try to get it all in one play. And, I think I've done a better job at that in the second half of the season.
Carson, it feels like your best work has been kind of like fourth quarter on, overtime, whatever, this whole year. Can you just talk about your mentality when kind of the game's on the line? Does something happen there? And I'm assuming, you feel good about your play late in games this year.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you get to the fourth quarter and you're down, and you got to have it, you make it happen. I think in pressure moments and pressure situations, I've been in those my entire life, and it really doesn't feel like pressure. That's what I love to do. So when those moments do come, it's either you do it or you don't. And as a team and as an offense, we've really excelled in those moments. And you try not to get into those moments, but we have been in those moments this year, and we've been able to execute when we get there.
Yeah, Carson, when you made the decision to come back for this year, a lot of it was unfinished business and things like that. What is the feeling like for you personally now that the SEC championship is here, playoff is right around the corner, and the unfinished business is maybe set to be accomplished?
Yeah, I think this year hasn't been easy. It's been challenging. It's been more difficult than in years past, at least since I've been here, as far as the road to how we got here. Right? It hasn't been all butterflies and rainbows, win every game by 50, 40. No, like every game is posed a challenge, and we've had to fight consistently week in and week out. And our schedule wasn't easy this year, and we knew that's how it was going to be. But like you said, here we are in this position with everything that we want in front of us. And I know the guys are excited. I'm excited. And even though it hasn't gone exactly how we wanted to, we're exactly where we want to be. So, no, we're just really excited for this opportunity and, the rest of the season, looking forward.
Carson, you had a pretty big scramble on 3rd and 9 there on the game time drive. And I guess going back to the Tennessee game, we really got to see you add that tool to the toolbox. How has that changed you, one? And then two, just from a personal growth standpoint, you've been a very high-profile guy under the scope. What's that been like for you to go through this year and grow?
Yeah, I think there's always something to being able to use your legs when you need to. Obviously, I'm not the most prolific runner in the world, but no, like if we have to have it, I do have that ability to go get a first down. I'm not going to go run 50 yards, but I'll go get 10. And honestly, I don't mind putting my body on the line to go do that on 3rd down and take a hit. But no, I think that's something that maybe I've tried to use a little more this year whenever we need it. And then obviously just being in this position and, going through this year and the things that we've gone through this season, I think I've really grown not only as a quarterback, but, as a person and mentally and in all areas of life. Whenever you're faced with adversity, you either fall or you rise through that. And, you learn a lot about yourself through that. And I believe that I have, through these experiences and through facing adversity this year. And it makes me excited that, I came back and got to experience these things. And that's really difficult to say because it hasn't been easy, but we don't ever want it easy. And that's kind of the standard here at Georgia is you come here so that it's hard. It's difficult. You play in big games. You play on the road against really good teams. You face adversity. You face hardship. And through that, ultimately, you grow. So, no, I think it's been really good this year, and I think I've grown a lot.
Carson, you guys got Dylan back on Saturday. For a quarterback, what does that do for your confidence to have a guy like that healthy? And along similar lines, Roderick Robinson makes his debut. Just what does he add to this offense?
Yeah, whenever, you have guys that have, built reps or experienced reps together a lot in practice and in games, and you've seen them perform. It gives you this level of confidence that you know where he's going to be on a certain route. You know the timing. You know how he's going to perform in certain moments, and that obviously helps me when you get a guy back out there like that that you have trust and confidence in. And then obviously having Rod back, that helped a lot, for him to really see his first snaps this season, which I know he's been battling through his injury that he experienced, and obviously being able to come back and provide and help our offense is huge for us, especially with the injuries that we've experienced in that room and our freshmen having to step up big. So seeing Rod back out there was really nice, and the way he was able to contribute for our offense on Friday.
Hey, Carson, the drops have obviously been a subject, throughout, a lot of the year. As the quarterback, how do you kind of help some of these guys maybe having some of these issues get over that, not get frustrated? I'm just kind of, what role do you play? And have you ever become, is it hard for you not to become frustrated when things don't go the way you would like them to?
Well, absolutely. When things don't go the way you want them to, obviously you're going to feel frustration. I think for me, the biggest thing is letting them know that I'm confident in them. I make bad throws. I make errant throws. A lot of the drops, whether it's on them or on me, it could go either way. But I'm not perfect. I make mistakes. I've had my fair share of them this year. So, no, I still have confidence in those guys. And when they do catch them, it's explosive, and what are we going to do, stop throwing the ball? No, we're going to continue to throw it. We have confidence in them. We believe in them. I believe in them. Gosh, they've made some huge plays this year to bring us back in games and put us in situations to, lead these comebacks that we've had this year. So, obviously, we just got to keep throwing it, and they're going to get open, and they're going to make the play whenever their name's called.
Carson, I think Cash led you guys in receiving yards the other day. What makes him an effective pass-catching running back, and what's the comfort level you have with him?
Yeah, my comfort level with Cash is great. It's huge. I think he's a really smart football player, and I think you never put that past someone. The intelligence of the game of football, it goes a long way. His understanding of defenses and coverage, and is a linebacker on me, is a safety on me, is it zone, is it man, how do I need to run this route? It helps a lot, and it truly gives you an advantage when you can think that way and understand what the defense is trying to do, especially when you're coming out of the backfield, because we believe that's an advantage for us. That's a mismatch, or a linebacker shouldn't be able to cover a running back. Obviously, there are some great linebackers in the SEC that are very, very good at, covering running backs out of the backfield, but for us, we feel like that should be an advantage, and he's shown that he can do that for us. And, this past Friday, he obviously had a great game and did a great job and had some really key plays on third down and then that touchdown in overtime. But, no, I have a lot of confidence in him, and I think he's done a great job stepping up for us this year.
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the value of conference championship games and playing them, the playoff and whatnot. And just from a player perspective, what does it mean for you guys to have gone through the season that you've gone through, still get to the SEC championship and play in it, and ultimately have a chance to win it?
Yeah, it means everything for me personally. I can speak for me. Having gone through the adversity that we've gone through this year and everything not being perfect or exactly the way we want it to be, and still being in this moment and still being presented this opportunity to go play in this game and go win an SEC championship, it's difficult. It's a really challenging conference. You look across the conference and look at the teams and the talent, and this year has been crazy. You look at it, everybody's beating each other. There's talent spread all across the conference. But no, to be in this opportunity and have this moment for this team is a lot for us, and we're not taking it for granted.
Carson, right up here, with the way the schedule worked, you got to sit there and watch Texas Tech A&M on Saturday night. Was there anything, that stood out to you, maybe that was different that you picked up from watching Texas's defense?
Yeah, well, I don't watch football, so I know that sounds kind of crazy, but no, I don't really enjoy watching football. It's not fun for me. I watch film, so I'll explain for a second what I mean by that. So if I watch that game, I'm not just going to be able to sit there and enjoy it. I'm going to stress myself out the whole entire time. I'm watching the defense. I'm like, okay, why this coverage on this down? I'm like, well, why did he throw it there against this coverage? Like, you know, and I mean, but you can learn from watching it. But no, it's stressful for me because I don't ever give myself a break whenever it comes to football. But nah, I mean, I've watched the film back, obviously now afterwards, knowing that we're going to be playing Texas in the SEC championship. But no, I mean, their defense is really good. They have a lot of talent on defense, and their defensive coordinator does a good job at putting them in good positions to execute and play at a high level. So just excited for the opportunity to play them again.
So what's been the difference between Oscar first 5 games and then the last 3 where he's found the end zone every single game?
Yeah, I think that situation and Oscar, like, he's just been given opportunities. You know, he's had the opportunities to make the plays where, as opposed to maybe earlier in the season, he really didn't have those opportunities or the defense didn't present the opportunities, right? But no, I mean, that's all. I mean, Oscar's always been Oscar. He's always been a really talented tight end that has been able to, you know, be explosive and make plays for us. And he showed that last year too. But, you know, towards the second half of the season, he's been presenting those opportunities. And with those opportunities, he's made plays and he's come up huge for us. So.
Time for one more question. Carson, going back to the comebacks and everything, you've seemed to stay level as the game is early and everything. First off, is that true? Have the cameras not seen you kind of get pissed or throw something at some point? But if it is true that you've been kind of level, has that been kind of a conscious decision on your part, or is it just kind of who you are?
I think personally, I think that's just who I am. It takes a lot to get me frustrated, and I think the people that really know me know that. And that's just kind of how I am, you know. And in those moments, like, does it help to throw something? No. Like, people are just going to see, like, people look to me, you know, and that's just how it is. And it's not a fake act. It's not like, oh, I have to be this way. No, like, that's just who I am as a leader. And it's better for me to stay calm in those moments than, I mean, lose my mind and go crazy. Because if I lose my mind and go crazy, what is everybody else going to do? You know, but if they see me staying composed and poised through those moments, they'll stay composed and poised, and hopefully they follow my lead. And ultimately, you know, we're going to get things going and things are going to start going our way. So it's just having that belief and, you know, staying level through the roller coaster of